Hello, fine people of the world. This message is called Your Speaker Success: How to Go from Google Invisible to Google Invincible in just a blink of an eye. This is for any entrepreneur out there, any business owner that wants to find clients, investors, fans, and followers in a simpler, easier way. And that is to become a speaker. Even if you think you do not public speak well, there is really no excuse anymore, because if you're on any social media platform, you are speaking literally every day. This is also for those who have a day job right now, but want a side hustle, because you don't know if your employer is going to keep hiring you. So you definitely want to consider being a speaker coach on the side so you can make money based on your experience. And it is an insane opportunity to have. So again, this is called Your Speaker Success: How to Go from Google Invisible to Google Invincible in just the blink of an eye. Now, the reality is, when you have a business, whether you're a speaker, author, coach, a realtor, insurance agent, wealth manager, someone will Google you. And you will either be, again, Google Invisible, where you don't even show up, Google Visible, where you might show up, but you really want to be a Google expert, which is where I'm going to show you how to do in this presentation, where you are a perceived authority in your industry, whatever industry you're in. Based on persuasion science by a guy named Dr. Robert Cialdini, he found that when you are an authority, you have a 25% chance better opportunity to be more persuasive, i.e., better at sales. Now, what I find most people that I work with before they work with me is that in their mind, in their ego, in their thoughts, they think they're the Ferrari brand. They think they're like, yeah, I'm worth all this money. I'm worth this perception, but they're really a fiat. Now, there's nothing wrong with a fiat. I'm just saying that the single most important thing in marketing is what I help my clients with, is that they want to sell at the Ferrari prices. They want to be perceived as a Ferrari. They want to have the elegance, the VIP treatment as a Ferrari, but they are actually a fiat. So there is this mismatch of perceptions, and maybe they're not even a fiat. Maybe they're a bicycle, right? But the point is, marketing is about perception. And GPS, which is the program that I created, has been called the Harvard of the speaker training world. And the perception is you get there faster, better, and more easily when you're part of our community. Now, a little bit about me. I didn't come from any money or connections. I was born and raised in New York City. My mom was a school teacher. My dad was a case manager, and I had no money, no access, no connections. I literally felt I was stupid because I was told I had a reading disability. I was told to shut up when I was 6 years old. I talked too much. And I was the shortest kid in my class for all 10 years, the first 10 years, and I felt I was ugly. So I was stupid, ugly, and I shouldn't have talked. And yet somehow I've written 7 books. I'm most well known for the one on the left-hand side, which is about networking with billionaires executives. Somehow I convinced Elon Musk, the richest guy in the world, to come to the worst part of town in Los Angeles, where I created a homeless youth program called Mondays at the Mission, where he was one of our guests. And lastly, I created a Gifter X Talks community, which is the world's leading speaker community for entrepreneurs. And it's been called the TED Talks for Entrepreneurs. The guy in the yellow, or I should say orange, his name is Ted. He's the TED founder. His name is Richard Saul Wurman. So I'm sharing this with you because even if you didn't know me, but if you were to Google me and you see my book, which Inc. magazine has called me the Billionaire Networker, you see me with Elon Musk. So I'm not just saying I'm networking, I'm showing it. And lastly, if I'm a speaker, if you are a speaker, there's no higher stage than the TED conference. If you think about athletes, the top stage is the Olympics. If you think about singer-songwriters, the top stage are the Grammy Awards. And if you think about actors and actresses, the top stage are the Oscar Awards. Now, if you're a speaker, you can go on a TEDx talk, but imagine if you could share the stage with the TED founders. So I'm sharing this with you because, again, you go from Google Invisible to Google Invincible when you start associating yourself and doing things that are the highest caliber, because then you'll be saying you're the Forever Elon brand or the Forever TED brand. So whatever industry you're in, you want to be able to rise up from all the other people and to say that you are marketable as a top authority. It could be a lot quicker than you might think. And so what we do in the GPS program is really help you to become a paid speaker. Now, some of my clients have already been multimillionaires or even hundreds of millions of dollars, or some of them are billionaires. So we help them either get on corporate stages, like where I helped Sterling clear his first $1 million in his first year, not first year, but one of his first years. Other stages where we help my clients like Martin, Paul, and Matt get on other people's stages. So they have shared the stage with Elon Musk and Richard Branson and the CEO of Delta. And lastly, we help our clients become their own stage masters, which I call the ultimate stage builder. And Shelly was a grandma from Idaho, and she literally wanted to create a global network. And she has since created a community of 8,400 entrepreneurs online. She hired me to speak at a castle in Ireland where I helped her elevate her brand. And her and I did events together too. She's just are just these are just some examples of people that we've helped over the years, over the last 20 years, in terms of helping them either get on corporate stages, get on speaking bureaus, speak on other people's stages, or really create your own stage. And mind you, for Shelly, she only had 10 people in that room both times where she was able to clear close to $100,000. And overall, I've helped my clients generate over $200 million. Now, what we want to teach you in our programs and community is really how to transform your confidence. When you look at speaking, whenever I meet people and I tell them, hey, Christopher, what do you do? And I say, well, I have two types of clients. I have B2B clients like corporations, like Amazon, eBay, Google hiring me to give keynote speeches, whether in leadership, sales, or networking. And then I have B2C clients, entrepreneurs like yourself, who want to really elevate your status. And I help them with these programs that I created where we have clients in 120 cities, 30 countries, and six continents. And this is what you're going to learn. You're going to learn not just body language, tonality, diction, enunciation. Those are the basics of communication skills. But really, you have to be able to craft it in a concise way where you have a keynote, what I call formula, where you can have standing ovations and crushing people's nerves in terms of your nerves. Instead of being nervous, you can be excited. And lastly, the thing that is most lacking in a lot of training programs, they don't understand branding and sales. We can have the perfect story, but is it sequenced in a way that your clients want? So when you actually consider our programs and our community, you really transform your confidence as a speaker, as a keynote speaker, and as a branding and sales expert. You also transform your network. We have heard the term, your network is your net worth, but it really is your self-worth. It's really your perspective on life, because when you start expanding your network, this is just our basic network of having people that once you are considered being part of our GPS community, you'll be part of people that are millionaires. You'll be part of doctorates from elite schools. You'll be part of athletes. Let's say one of our clients named Christine Vanloo, she is one of the most world-renowned aerialists in the world. She has had so many awards. She's performed with Paul McCartney and Britney Spears. This is one example. We have a 2-star U.S. Army general. We have multiple TEDx Talk speakers. We have various Fortune 500 companies, speakers. People have been featured on Forbes. So again, when you are part of a community, your network is transformed. Lastly, you can have the money, which we can help you make. We can have the community, which we help you be a part of. But at the end of the day, when all of us have passed, at least physically, what impact have you made on life? What impact have you made on human existence? For me, I'm so blessed that yes, I have written 7 books. Yes, I have given over 1,000 presentations, but beyond all that stuff, what I am so grateful for is I used to teach in high school for average teens. I wrote a college success guide. I ghost wrote a book for a homeless shelter. And the thing that I'm most proud of is this Mondays at the Mission program I created, where we have transformed thousands of kids' lives that lived in a homeless shelter, invited hundreds of people to volunteer and to give and share their story, including Elon Musk. So when you think about your speaking career, when you think about your business, who do you want to impact beyond just your clients? In my case, we've impacted these teenagers at this homeless shelter. So I want to challenge you that yes, this is a business program, but what bold mission, what bold cause do you want to do for yourself? Now, the other biggest problem I see with people that we meet before they join our program, if they're actually accepted, because it is a private invitation only program, it is an application process that you have to apply to be part of a program. You may not realize this, but if you understand physics, specifically Isaac Newton's, the laws of motion, you can't do it by yourself. Literally, one of the laws of physics, laws of motion, is an object at rest stays at rest unless acted by an outside object or force. I'll say it again. When you are at rest, whether you're on your couch right now or you're thinking about doing thmet you literally stay at rest unless you're acted by an outside force. Now, on the other hand, I meet people all the time. I met someone recently that generally speaking, when people get more successful, they have a bigger head, i.e. a bigger ego. I'm guilty of that too sometimes. And this guy kept rambling on about, yeah, I made all this money in 1 year and I don't need coaches. I'm like, okay. So what I also find is either people are at rest, i.e. they're on their couch watching Netflix. Nothing wrong with that. But if you want to be successful, you can't just be on your couch all the time. Other times, the laws of physics say that, well, when you're in motion, you'll continue in motion unless you're acted on by an outside force. So again, laws of motion. This is not something I created. This is about physics, where so many people I meet, oh, I'm going to write a book first and then be a speaker. Well, how do you know someone's going to read your book? And then they kind of like, I don't know. Oh, I'm going to have a podcast first and build an audience. Well, how do you know the podcast people want to see? I'm going to create a coaching program. I met a person recently. He spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on a coaching program that no one wants to buy. Or someone tells you, oh, I'm going to help you with a signature speech. Well, what if no one wants to hear it? Or I'm going to create a TEDx talk and I'm going to have all this fame and fortune. Well, guess what? I have met so many people over the last 20 years, including myself. If you met me when I first started my career over 20 years ago, I had all these dreams. I was going in the right or the wrong direction. I'm like, I'm going to write a book, which I did. I'm going to create a website, which I created. I'm going to be a best-selling author and speak all around the world, make millions of dollars, which I did over time. But it took me 8 years to write my first book and no one bought it, not that many people. So don't be at rest and don't be going in the wrong direction. So if you think you're going to write a book and a podcast and coaching program and signature speech and TEDx talk, you can do all those things. I've created all these things, but if you want to be successful, i.e. money, making 6 or 7 figures or even more, you have to know what people want because this is a business. Business is about solving problems. Your best thing is just give at least 10 speeches. And in those 10 speeches, if people kept walking up to you, keep saying, you're amazing because you're good at fill in the blank. You're amazing. Maybe you're in social media. Maybe you're good at networking. Maybe you're good at sales. Whatever you're good at, give those 10 speeches first because you'll save yourself so much time, so much money, and you'll be going in the right direction instead of the wrong direction because I don't want you to do what I did. You know, it wasn't until I started being more realistic. It wasn't until I started asking for advice. It wasn't until I started understanding that people really don't care about what you say unless you hook them in with your story and your actual style, i.e. branding. So just keep that in mind that you don't want to be at rest, meaning stay on your couch, nor do you want to be going the wrong direction. Because like I said, laws of physics, an object at rest stays at rest unless acted by an outside force. An object in motion, i.e. the wrong direction, keeps going in the wrong direction unless acted by an outside force. Yes, go ahead and write that book. Yes, go ahead and do the podcast or your coaching program, but you are going to be doing yourself a disservice. If you want to build a business out of this or you want to scale your business, you have to have that outside force. And that's what I am. I said to you earlier, I didn't come from any money or connections. My mom was a 5th grade school teacher. They were immigrants from Hong Kong. I didn't have any money, access, or connections. I would literally have hand-me-down clothes. My mom would make me lunch every single day. And bless her heart, she would make me a hamburger sandwich, which was as hard as a hockey puck. She didn't know what hamburger buns was, so she literally bought Wonder Bread. And I remember to this day, when I was 7, 8 years old, I would go to my lunch, and I knew that when I opened up that brown paper bag and opened up the Ziploc bag, I would sink my fingers into the soggy Wonder Bread and try to eat into my hamburger, which was very hard, like a hockey puck. And though I love my mom, she wasn't the best cook. What I'm saying to you, to go from being punished in school, being teased for being short, thinking I didn't have a gift because I talked too much. And this is literally the freshman year picture. I hate looking at this picture because it brings back all these negative memories. But to try to be a man, try to be handsome, try to ask a girl out. And yet I was literally 4'10". I just didn't have that desire to do much if I was always teased, but I am your outside force of support. I know how it feels to be an outsider. I know how it feels to be put down, to be let down, to be depressed and sad. So I want to be that force of support. I want to be that physical force, that emotional, spiritual support for you, literally your GPS for support. So hopefully you know that I can be there for you. And whether you realize it or not, when you create a good brand, when you create an actual authority, you can literally create a price point. Recently, I had AIG as a company. They're going to hire me for 5 figures. and I lost out to an astronaut. Now it was good and bad, right? I lost out to an astronaut, but I know my branding and marketing is good, and I know what I'm good at. I had a person that had built 2 unicorn companies, and I told him, Terry, I didn't build a multi-billion-dollar tech company, but I know what I'm good at. If you are Wozniak, meaning you have the product and service, I am Steve Jobs. I know how to promote my clients. I know how to market my clients. I know how to sell my clients. I don't find them clients, but I help them market themselves. Because too many times I meet people, they think they have a great story that people want to hear, which they do. They think they're ready to be pitched, but they aren't. Again, going back to objective reality, they're going in the wrong direction. And what I help them do is craft their story in such a way that they have a compelling story. In my case, I've helped myself craft my story that I'm building at $30,000, $50,000 for just one speech. That's domestic, mind you. So now I'm going to share with you how you might be involved or be a part of a community by applying. So do I have your permission to share with you our program called GPS, which stands for the Gifted Professional Speaker Program? We help you go from Google Invisible to Google Invincible in the blink of an eye. It is a private invitation only global community. We're in 120 cities and 30 countries. And we've been so blessed to be around for close to 10 years. It's both a training program where we teach you how to be an expert, how to market your expertise, and how to sell your expertise in an authentic and integrity way. But it's also a community where you get to hang out with cool people. So there's 3 specific types of memberships. You have the Diamond membership, which is 6 months long, Platinum membership, which is 3 months long, and the Gold membership, which is 8 weeks long. And let me dive into each one. So the top tier Diamond membership is at what I call a USB program where we literally help you plug and play and build your event out from scratch. There are 2 very, very, very clear lanes of speaking. You have the corporate speaking, which the corporate training space is a $1.6 trillion space. If you've gone to any corporation, any corporate event, you'll see speakers on stage. That's corporate events where they pay you literally upfront, 50% upfront, and they pay you when you go there and speak. That's the corporate world. The other world is the e-learning, which is $800 billion. But then the self-help space, i.e. Tony Robbins and some of those top dogs, that's a $67 billion space. So this USB, this ultimate stage builder is more for the self-help personal development space. Now, if you've never heard of that space, again, it's been around for almost 100 years. And if you ever look at the self-help space, you might think, yeah, I don't know if I'm into that. Well, guess what? Warren Buffett was literally a guy that ultimately helped himself by ultimately learning how to be a public speaker. And what I mean by that is when he was 20 years old, he wanted to get over his fears of public speaking because he knew that if he wanted to be a successful investor, he needed to be confident in his speaking skills. Now, again, this is Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors in the world. When he was 20 years old, before that, he would literally schedule his classes at school. If he found out that if a class needed public speaking, because he was so horrified, he would literally vomit. And this is Warren freaking Buffett, who is one of the most successful investors in the world. And he would tell himself that, okay, he has to get over his fear. Therefore, he decided to take a public speaking class when he was 20. And that class, he has said, changed his life forever. When people have asked him, what's one skill you need to learn to be successful? He says, learn public speaking, because public speaking is a skill that will last you 50 or 60 years. I'm going to call Uncle Warren as being a liar because he is going to be, I believe he was born in 1930. He's going to be 94 years old at the recording of this message. So it has lasted him 74 years. How many investments will you make in your life where your ROI will last you 74 years? So again, Warren Buffett, one of the most successful business owners, investors, one of the best public speakers in the world, took a class, i.e. self-help, personal development, personal growth, when he was 20. And it so inspired him that he said on tape that public speaking is one of the best skills, one of the most important skills you will ever learn that will last you 50 or 60 years. But in his case, it was lasting him more than 70 years. So I'm stressing this because when you create your own stage, whether there's 10 people, 20 people, 100 people, it doesn't matter. Know what people that are successful do and make the investments that you need. So in this case, I help our clients build out their own events, where they create their own event, whether with 10 people or more. And this is an example of how I can help you. And I've helped my clients make over $1 million just from this one-day model alone, where we literally build out the system, landing page, the pitch, the executive bio, and email sequence. This is a $254,000 value. You're not paying that, but that's the value you're getting. The second type of membership is what I call a VIP day, where some of our clients might have a story ready. We either redo their website or make over the website. We either create a coaching deck for them or create their signature speech, whether for a TEDx talk, a corporate keynote, or Speak to Sell. And Speak to Sell, again, it's the term they use where you speak on a stage and you sell your programs. I remember when I first learned about the Speak to Sell model, there's a whole self-help. I was a bit turned off because some of these people just seem so sleazy and scammy, but you don't have to be. I mean, I literally would go to a church one day and saw the people at church, the pastors, doing the same thing. It's called a call to action, meaning they say, raise your hand, look to the person to your left. Now give them a high five. That's called customer engagement or client engagement, or in a pastor's case, participant engagement. What I'm saying for you is in this VIP day, you get to have a done for you program where I come to you for a day, 5 hours in one day, whether I've been to Venice or been to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. But what I do for you in this day is create the foundation for your speaker website or your coaching deck or your signature speech. That value is at $89,000. And the last one is the gold membership, whereas a group coaching call. Right now, I still coach and teach most of them. And so you literally learn the basics of being a speaker. Again, this whole entire program, this whole community, this whole training program is teaching you how to first define your expertise, your experience, i.e., why are they hiring you, whether you're good at networking, whether you're good at social media, whether you're good at sales, and then how do you market yourself, and how do you sell yourself authentically and with integrity. Now, again, some of you might think, well, I don't have the experience, Christopher. Well, guess what? That's why you come to the program. I had a client named Lynn. She had an Airbnb. She had one Airbnb. And she's like, well, Christopher, will anyone hire me? I'm like, Lynn, how many people do you know that have 0 Airbnbs? She's like, I know a lot. Well, guess what? If you're a coach, just teach the people that have had 0 Airbnbs and you can teach them. So let's say she would make $10,000 a year in her one Airbnb. If she were to charge $1,000 for clients that have had 0 Airbnbs and teach them how to make $10,000, well, that's a pretty good selling point, right? So again, this program, Gold Membership, is about teaching you week by week, how do you become a coach or speaker? If you are already a speaker, how do you scale that? If you are not a speaker or coach, you can consider that. And so to summarize, if you get accepted into our programs, the diamond value, we help you build out your own event where you sell your own program or coaching program, and you don't need to know what to sell. That's where I come in. The platinum value is we help you do your actual website for you, or your coaching deck, or your actual signature speech, and I help you specifically by myself. Most of that work, I do it myself. Or lastly, you be part of a group coaching program. One of the bonus you get is what I call a boss bio. Let's say one of our clients, she said she was a power connector and believes her future success is probably hiding with the next person you meet. That's more of a personal statement, and it's less of a what I call a boss bio, because what you might not realize is that your marketing, the most fundamental thing about your marketing is your bio. And when they read your bio, if it's so generic that you can just literally remove your name and put someone else's name, that's not a boss bio. That's what I call a carbon copy bio. That's what I call literally a photograph bio, meaning someone can just photograph your bio and just print it out and put someone else's name there. A boss bio is that you can put your name there and only you can write that. So we helped her. I specifically helped her with this bio. And now she's the founder and CEO of Executive Networking Events. And she's helped over 8,000 entrepreneurs. So you tell me, what bio is better? Because again, if you write a boss bio, they want to read more, they want to hire you. If you write a generic bio, which most people do because no one has ever taught that, how are you going to get clients, right? So that's a bonus of people that join and sign up. That's limited supply. And lastly, if those who are in our platinum or diamond membership, you will be guaranteed a GiftRx Talk spot at one of our events, either virtually in person. We can say you can literally share the stage with Richard Saul Wurman. So when you hear the word share the stage, whether it's on the same stage in the same year or other years. It's so important from a branding standpoint because it's just imagine you're a singer-songwriter and you can say you co-wrote with Grammy-winning artist Alicia Keys. Or if you're an actor and actress, you can say you co-starred with Leonardo DiCaprio or Margot Robbie, right? In the speaking world, when you can say you share the stage with these people, because when you're a part of our GPS community, I've created the GifterX Talks community as well, which, as I said, has been called the TED Talks for Entrepreneurs and is the world's leading speaking community for entrepreneurs. You'll be immediately able to say that you share the stage with these luminaries that are part of a community. So I've been so blessed. My team has been so blessed to help so many people around the world. Again, I've been doing this for over 20 years. And this GPS program, it's been close to 10 years. We've had hundreds of testimonials, whether we've helped them make an impact, helped them quit their jobs, helped them make millions. It's all about how we help them frame their story. Now, the last thing I'm going to share is, do you want to suffer for 20 years? Because in my younger days, I was much more arrogant, much more ignorant, and I had a lot more ego. I still have some level of ego, but I always do my stuff to check myself because billionaire hedge fund Ray Dalio once said that the reason why most people are not successful is because they don't stress test their ideas, they're overconfident, and they don't wrestle with reality. I can't tell you how many times I meet people, they're like, oh, Christopher, I have a great story. Great. I have this great coaching program. Great. That's what they think. Just because you think that doesn't mean your clients will pay you. And so please don't do what I did. Don't write a book that takes 8 years, create a website, think you're going to be successful. And it took me so many years. So just how old you are right now, add 20 years to your life. Do you really want to spend that much time? Because it really pains me when I meet people in their head, they think they know what they need to get to be where they want to go as a speaker. But how would you, going back to the laws of physics, how do you know you're going in the right direction if you have not had someone that is billed out at 5 figures and has made 6 figures in the self-help world for one speech? So do yourself a favor, consider applying to a program, thinking about what membership you want to be a part of, and you can apply now. The actual investment you're going to make will be in the application form. So do your best to think about where you want to go. Think about how you want to transform your impact because I'm here to serve you. Remember, laws of physics. You're either at rest right now on your couch, eating your popcorn, eating your eating your Snicker bars, or you are going in the wrong direction. I want you to go in the right direction. I want you to be in motion, and I want to be that support, that guidance for you to be your GPS and your success. Thank you so much for listening to this, and I look forward to reading your application. We have had thousands of people interested in our GPS program. We can't obviously accept everyone, but we'll do our best to at least review applications. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and I look forward to reading about your inspiring story.